All right. Well, welcome to another episode of Beyond ERP. I'm your host, Louis Bala, joined by my co-host, Gina Ostrowski. And today we have Majid Abai, who is the chairman and CEO of Bay City Metal Products, leading manufacturer of high-quality sheet metal products for wholesale distributors and roofing trade. With over 30 years of executive leadership experience, Majid has a proven track record in founding technology companies and advising global organizations on turnaround, revenue growth, and operational excellence. His focus is on developing innovative products and services that enable customers to achieve sustained success. In addition to his leadership role, he's also a TEDx speaker, the author of two books. I own one of them, Data Strategy, and I believe also a former professor at University of California, Los Angeles, practicing business intelligence. So with all of that said, Majid, thank you for joining us to another episode of Beyond ERP.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Yes, it's an honor to have you, Majid. Welcome. So glad you joined, and let's get started and tell the audience a little bit about your background and experience that that's led to your current role over at Bay City Metals. Bay City Metal Products. You're the CEO and chairman. So a little background would be great.
Sure, happy to share that with all of you. I'm a serial entrepreneur, really. I started my first business while I was in college and just continued and never stopped. And later on, I also was lucky enough to be hired as the executive for various industries, mostly in technology, but also done manufacturing, healthcare, and other industries as well. And whenever, whenever I wasn't running a company or starting a company, I was consulting with companies that needed revenue growth or turnaround. And that led me to the conversation here at Bay Cities, where I started as a consultant. And over time, I was asked to be chairman and CEO of the organization, which I accepted.
Great. Well, thanks for getting us up to speed there. So let's get into a little bit of the meat. And as businesses aim, and it looks like that's your background too, to maximize ROI, you have the NetSuite ERP and other ERPs to speak of. So what is the most common challenges you're seeing leaders facing during implementation and especially post-implementation phase as well?
Sure. There are two parts that really come to mind as we talk about ERP implementation. Number one is change. Change is hard. And the biggest challenge in implementing any technology product is the readiness and willingness for the team to change. Being in technology, I've always believed that when a company implements a piece of software and doesn't change the way it does business, then they have definitely wasted their money. And really, they haven't achieved their goals. So we need to really, as leaders, prepare our teams for that kind of a change, both on the technology side and on the process side, especially when it comes to an ERP system. The second challenge is data. And it is important for us to make sure that when we are transforming and loading data into the new system, it is important to have conversations and making sure that this is the right data for the organization as well. Post-implementation, reminding the teams that there are going to be good days and bad days with ERP because things are not going to work exactly as you expected them, and to really let them know that the whole implementation is done in order to really support the organization in the future as we grow and as we get to the next steps.
Yeah, it's somewhat of a journey, right?
Absolutely.
Yes.
And as you talk about the notion of book change in data, when you have some fortunate change enthusiasts, there's also this myriad of just a wide lake of third-party applications. As you're looking at those the broader market, really, especially as it's very easy to tie into NetSuite these days. How would you recommend organizations align with not only the selection, but looking at the third-party applications and tying in your data strategy as well?
Uh, for each organization, it is different. In my opinion, in our organization, our prioritization comes in mostly based on customer first approach that we have in the company. So as we build and choose and prioritize other tools to implement, it is all about which one of them will have the most impact on our customers. Let me give you an example. What we have in our industry is that it is a very, very old industry. Um, this is the way people have been doing it for 50 years. This is the way they want to continue doing it. And I think this applies to a lot of other industries as well. What we don't usually realize is that our customers, our vendors, our employees are getting younger. And therefore, they don't necessarily want to communicate with us the way that we have communicated with them in the past. If people used to send us faxes and people used to send us orders via email or pick up the phone and call us, the new generation who are managers at our customers' offices are not going to do the same. They grew up on apps and they grew up on portals and they grew up on Amazon. So they want us to behave like Amazon and act like Amazon. So they want to be able to give us orders via a portal. They wanted to be able to track their orders, see where their order is, and when they will receive it, all without talking to anybody. While the customer service is available, we still need to really build third-party infrastructures that allows us to do exactly the same and what they need to do. So that's what will drive our digital strategy, digital transformation strategy in the next steps as well.
And as we talk about the change management strategy, predominantly on the user adoption and in minimizing the risk when rolling out an ERP application, in your instance, rolling out NetSuite to multiple locations. Hoping you can share a little bit of just, as the generations do get younger, people become more tech versed just in the day-to-day lives that they live outside of the organization. Have you seen over the years just that adoption improve, or what are some of the roadblocks you see today that take a little bit more time?
It also in answering your questions, what will happen is that it's more of an art than a science. So there is a little bit of an concept going on, and in any organization, you're going to have people who are older or just resistant to change, and you have different people who are younger or very much ready to change. So there's a multiple quadrant that one needs to create to realize what type of an organization are we dealing with, and therefore start communicating to each of those areas within in the correct way that will apply to them. So number one important is letting them knowing that change is coming. I've been in organizations where they never announced that there's going to be a software implementation at all. And then, a week before or 2 weeks before, they say, as of tomorrow, we're going to switch from A to B.
Yeah.
If we are able to really provide better communication, let them know that this is coming, let them know how the lives will change. Again, not just because of the technology, but because of the way we do business. And to let them know there's going to be what we call valley of despair. There's going to be really, really bad days, and there's going to be really, really good days. They will really take on this, and they will feel a part of ownership, especially if we listen to them and listen to their comments and listen to the thoughts. Because there is an example of a very large healthcare organization in Los Angeles that implemented a new practice management system. And every nurse and every doctor threatened to walk out if that was implemented. because $80 million, if my numbers are correct, went out the door, simply because they never asked the nurses and doctors about their input. And they quickly, to them, switched to a much more prevalent system. But it was because they never communicated with their team, and they didn't listen to their input.
Yeah, it sounds like you definitely are reaching to the people and the human aspect of it. That's a big consideration. And then besides that, you always have key metrics, right? KPIs. So do you recommend companies track their measurements and measure their ROIs that way through ERP investments, especially that first year?
Yes, it is. It is really important, but the KPIs are different depending on from company to company and how they measure success, because that's what we were taking a look at. In a lot of cases, the ROI doesn't start manifesting until years 3, 4, 5, or 6, or even beyond. How do you? And you all know it better than I. There are ERP implementations that hundreds of millions of dollars and more in various larger organizations. So how do you really measure ROI that immediately? But in our case, it was actually easy to calculate ROI. We are 4 locations. We were 4 locations with 3 different ERP systems. And therefore, because of acquisitions that have happened before, and therefore having information in one ERP makes a huge difference for us, from standardizing the way we purchase, from the way that we measure labor utilization, from the way that we can service our customers, from the way that we can do shipping. So all of that is really, really easy to measure. And for other organizations could be different. For them, it could be reduction. KPIs could be associated with reduction of costs. Obviously, KPIs could be associated with better purchases. It could be to improve sales, and even at some point, I think could be improved customer satisfaction, if that is what they're looking for, and using tools such as NPS, I think it's called Net Promoter Score, to be able to really measure who they were before and how they're perceived after the implementation of the ERP.
Yeah, and in kind of sticking with the notion of better serving your customers, unifying your data, or aggregating all of your data from 3 ERP applications. Hoping you could share how you've leveraged NetSuite, maybe some specific examples, and to piggyback on that, advice that you would have for other manufacturers looking at or considering the switch from maybe legacy or multiple ERP applications.
For us, NetSuite became the foundational system in our digital transformation. We cannot achieve the next levels that we want to go without having that foundation, the solid foundation. And not just because of financial side of the house, really because of the operational side of the house. The ability for us to be able to take it on. So if I may give you some of our digital transformation goals that we have for 2025 and beyond, is that one of the things that we want to implement on top of, or that integrates with NetSuite, is machine monitoring systems. The ability for us to connect a system to every equipment that we have, our manufacturing equipment, and the ability for work tickets to flow from NetSuite into the machine monitoring system, the ability for us to track how the machine is performing, how the operator is performing, and the ability to even measure that maybe performance of a machine is downgrading, and sending a ticket dynamically to our equipment maintenance system to have a maintenance engineer schedule time to take a look, or sharpen or operate or do maintenance services associated with that equipment is really, really a tremendous way for us to move forward to make sure that we don't have machines down. We are optimizing the rates at which the machines are supposed to be used and capture data where we can really analyze performance of a operator of a machine versus other operators, where we need to be, where we are at right now. And that's the data that will take us really through the lean manufacturing direction that we want to achieve.
Fascinating, and NetSuite's the right platform for integrating a lot of the preventative maintenance elements. And you know, we certainly love all of those elements of NetSuite and how to amplify it and 2-3x your investment, for sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
Definitely. And then to just pivot a little bit more personally, maybe Majid, you could tell us a little about your books and any future initiatives around writing, speaking opportunities. Please share.
Thanks. As Louis said, I was an adjunct professor at UCLA for a while, teaching information management and business intelligence. And that led me to really co-author a book called Data Strategy in 2005 with two really, really good friends, and to help people get there. This is before the explosion of data with YouTube and other social media, and therefore hasn't covered a lot of that information. I was happy to see somebody else has written a brand new data strategy book that covers that. So that's excellent. The second book was about cracking business code. That was the authors were two really good friends as well. And we really jumped in on the aspects of how the next level of business should look like in 2020 and beyond, and how we could leverage various parts of business to really grow a company. And in the past 10 years or so, I have become fascinated by revenue growth and customer success, really, and done a lot of studying and really what happens and how organizations can put customer first and customer success ahead of everything else in order to really get to the next place. And there are not that many books that gives you the details of how you can really change a company so that it is a very customer-centric organization. So I'm hoping to be able to have time at some point soon to be able to write that.
We're looking forward to reading that. That's
thanks.
Near and dear to our heart. Well, we, after kind of running through soup to nuts your NetSuite experience and the ROI and just the change management elements, we do want to just give you the last word beyond the personal book side and what you're doing at home.
What I do at home is doing a lot of soccer, but I'm also fascinated with AI these days. So I think AI is where we're going to, obviously, as everybody's talking about, is the buzzword today. Is going to impact our lives in quite different ways that a lot of people realize. I haven't seen a lot of the negative sides of that AI that a lot of people are talking about. Sure, at some point, I think that is going to come along. But I think it's going to penetrate every industry. We are looking into bringing robotics into our manufacturing floor within the next couple of years, and the ability for us to be able to really utilize AI to analyze our data to really help us find the nuggets that we might not have found as we grow the company. So this could be very, very helpful in the direction that we are going within the next few years as well.
And there's often talk of kind of the next phase in AI is this notion of agent to agent. So you're the Bay Cities agent talks to your sourcing or your vendors or even your customer's agent. Do you see a world where that especially as we talk about just the customer experience, where I go to your website and an agent now is using the CPQ algorithm to spit something out to your shop floor? Or is that
And yeah,
part
we
of-
think that would be very, very helpful for normalization, especially for us to be able to do. A great example of it would be purchasing. So we are manufacturers, we use raw material, and if you're able to put some parameters there, and that's the difference, is that I think there is some parameters that you still need a human intervention into this. Because there's a lot that goes into manufacturing, purchasing. Some of it is how much inventory do you want to keep? What are the prices out there in the market? How things are going to happen? And if your provider, we are able to provide those parameters, then there is no reason for someone to sit back there and keep writing purchase orders, as long as we are able to really monitor to make sure the parameters are within the areas that we've set, and we don't over order or under order, and it just makes sense. So yes, I see that happen within the next 5 to 10 years, that agency becomes an important part of AI going forward. And the same situations, our users, the same, again, our users are seeing a lot of repeat notes that they have, and there is no reason for their systems, someone to pick up the phone or put in an order in if it is something that can be repeated over and over and over again.
Absolutely. Yeah. And we're excited. I think with NetSuite, they've been, only revealing enough to keep the stock ticker going up with Oracle, but it seems like everybody's racing from the ERP, and it's nice that they have Oracle OCR to capture and play with some pretty nice LLMs. So we'll see.
I agree. And I think that's one of the reasons customers like us like to partner up with advanced technology companies, because you know that behind the background with a company such as Oracle, there is a lot more going on than just this particular software, and those technologies could be integrated within NetSuite as well. And it's not just a limited budget organization. So it makes a big difference when one implements a world-class system.
Well, we really appreciate, again, your time today, and to our audience, Nuage specializes in guiding businesses through the transformation optimization NetSuite. So you don't have to do it alone. We appreciate everybody tuning in, and join us next time as we continue to unravel journeys and wisdom of exceptional business leaders like Majid. So thank you again for your time today, and hope everybody has a great day.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Majid. Take care.